funded military college in Charleston, South Carolina. In many ways, the school was an easy target. Its traditions and history are inextricably linked to the Old South. Its name means a fortress. Given all the bad publicity, the Citadel decided to let us inside its walls for an unprecedented look. What we found was a college unlike any other in the country, and the Citadel would have it no other way.
There are young men who believe in such words as duty, as integrity, discipline, honor.
Bring your battalions to present arms!
I think that the young men who will come here will say it was the best choice that he ever made.
You better grab that. You better grab that.
It is a brotherhood. It is something strange and mysterious and unnameable.
The Citadel's kind of clung on to the idea of honesty, of valor, of gentleman's conduct. A dinosaur in the middle of a changing world, and it doesn't want to change.
Who was the kid who got a Citadel color, sir?
The concept of honor, that's almost non-existent in society today. The fact that personal integrity, not to lie, cheat, or steal, I mean, lying and cheating, steal is almost considered a standard for politicians and businesses nowadays. Income tax returns, inside trading on Wall Street.
It's been called the last bastion of Southern ideals, and the school has fashioned itself as a place of order in a world of shifts and changes. Its unique military history goes back 150 years. Its units won 9 Confederate battle streamers and turned back the Star of the West as she tried to resupply Fort Sumter. It was Citadel cadets that fired the first shots of the Civil War.
Why are you better prepared than somebody who hasn't gone here?
Because I can handle pressure.
The sense of discipline and duty is hammered into them from the day they arrive as fourth-classmen, or knobs. They have no rights, no privileges, no freedom.
Our killing man! Our killing man! Our Uncle Sam! Our Uncle Sam!
Only about half of them are here because they want to pursue military careers. The rest are here because they want to be.
If I went to a regular college, I'd probably fail out just going to parties and everything.
Yeah.
So I needed like a structured place to learn. So I came here.
It's not for everybody. It's not meant to be for everybody. But neither is MIT or Georgia Tech or the U.S. Military Academy.
For a year, they must endure 3 inspections a day, double time in the barracks, walk in the gutter on the Avenue of Remembrance. But the worst of it is mealtime, and they must feel a constant barrage of questions, and in between, ask permission to take a bite.
Look straight in front of you. Navy rank, the bottom up.
Lieutenant Junior Grade, Lieutenant Commander, Commander, Captain.
Where your eyes supposed to be at all times, the confines of the mess, right?
Yes, sir.
You're supposed to know what's going on, eat. Right?
Sir, no excuse, sir.
Some days it's a nightmare and it takes an eternity for one day to end. But there's so many, benefits that come out of that education.
Under stress, I think everybody performs well. I mean,
What do you learn
more. What do you learn under stress?
What do you learn from?
Learn self-confidence. You have to reach down inside yourself. You have to say, yes, I can do that, and I can do it well, and I can do it now.
Over the years, the school has turned out more than its share of generals, businessmen, a U.S. senator, even a rumpled best-selling author who wrote, "When your wife leaves you, your child dies, your platoon is overrun in a surprise attack, you can never say the Citadel didn't prepare you for the worst in life."
They certainly prepare you for the worst in life. Ironically, they also prepare you for the best.
Pat Conroy graduated in 1967 and later wrote The Lords of Discipline, a novel loosely based on his experiences at the Citadel.
Do you think you're a better person because you went there?
I was a delightful person before I ever got near the place. I made the best friends my whole life. That feeling of solidarity you feel when your freshman year is over, that feeling of awesome love you feel for those kids that have gone through this with you. The thing got to me. The whole love of the Citadel got to me. And I'd be lying if I denied it. The part I hated then and now is when it turns cruel, when it turns mean. I hate that.
And last fall, by all accounts, the system did just that against black freshman Kevin Neesmith. 5 juniors dressed in sheets and carrying a singed paper cross burst into his room at 1 a.m. The incident made headlines across the country. Within 24 hours, the students involved had turned themselves into the cadet chain of command, claiming they were trying to motivate Neesmith.
They were trying to adjust and change the freshman's attitude. He wasn't doing well academically. He had one of the poorest grade point averages in the battalion of freshmen. He was doing very poorly as far as militarily. He was in excess of demerits.
It's just that they chose their motivation, their vehicle, the representation of sheets and a cross.
Yeah, I don't
totally intolerable.
I do believe it was somewhat racially motivated. There was a bit too much symbolism to be anything else, although their intentions were to perhaps bring about a change in Neesmith. There were too many racial overtones.
To anybody who's graduated from the Citadel, these guys were in the process of running Neesmith out of school. And I promise that one. Probably not because he's black. Usually why they run people out of the Citadel has nothing to do with color. It has to do sometimes with what they perceive as physical weakness, psychological weakness, but always weakness, not fitting in, strangeness, weirdness. They have to get those guys out.
But from outside the walls, the incident was seen as a fresh example of racism reemerging in the 80s. And when the cadets involved were not immediately expelled, Kevin Neesmith resigned, and Nelson Rivers of the South Carolina NAACP filed suit on his behalf.
The fourth-class system itself is fraught with opportunities for little bigots to become big bigots, to become bigots with power. And when you give a bigot power, then you have racism.
The Neesmith incident, I call it an aberration.
Major General James Grimsley is president of the Citadel.
The young men who were responsible for the incident were severely punished, and that's been acknowledged by all concerned.
But instead of expelling the students, as civil rights groups demanded, the Citadel chose to deal with the situation in its own inimitable way. Each of the 5 offenders was ordered to march tours, like these cadets are doing, rifle on shoulder, back and forth across the barracks quadrangle, 1 hour at a time, for 195 hours, and to be confined to campus until the tours were completed. It was the harshest punishment ever handed out at the Citadel.
Horrible beyond belief. I could not believe it when I heard it. Just simply dreadful.
Worse than getting expelled?
I would much rather get expelled than do that punishment. The fact also that you cannot get off the Citadel campus for 6 months seems to me cruel and unusual punishment, and you'd almost report that to Amnesty International if they knew how severe this thing was.
But it was not enough to satisfy the NAACP, which points out that only 6% of the student body is black, that there are only 2 black faculty members, and that there's no black representation on key university committees.
They think and act as though they're private, but they're a public school paid for by my tax dollars, your federal tax dollars, and maintained by our tax dollars.
We made effort to get black faculty members, black administrators. We're competing for the same individuals other colleges are. That that doesn't excuse us not getting them. It means that we've got to redouble our efforts in this regard, and we plan to.
But the issue that's raised the most controversy has been the NAACP's efforts to strip away the last public vestiges of the school's Confederate history, the tradition of playing Dixie at parades and sporting events, and the waving of the Confederate flag.
Black people do not, in general, like the song or like the flag because it represents racism, it represents slavery, it represents everything objectionable to us that the swastika and Nazi Germany represents to Jewish Americans. And we feel just that strongly about it. And when they cannot understand that, then it shows the height of insensitivity.
I think that you can't rewrite history. You can't rewrite the fact that the Citadel Corps cadets participated in the 9 engagements for which they've received battle streamers. That as a spin-off of that Dixie has become a part of the fabric of the heritage of the college. I just don't think that you can wash those sorts of things down the drain just because somebody doesn't like it. I think there has to be objectivity and understanding on both parts.
We don't want to take the heritage away. They can continue to fight the Civil War over and over again. As long as they continue to lose it, that's fine. They've been fighting the Civil War for 100 years, have not won it yet, are not going to win it. The war is over for good. The South will never rise again. But in a public posture, there's no reason why the black citizens of this state have to tolerate for 1 minute a public institution insulting us on a day-to-day basis. And that's what the Citadel does with the flag and with the song.
Even the Citadel's own studies show that almost to the man, black students have a negative reaction to the playing of Dixie, an action that, quote, summons a history of pain and abuse. But that doesn't mean that they think it's a racist school. Basketball player Craig Burgess is fairly typical.
I've had a good time here. I've enjoyed being here.
Treated fairly.
I've been treated very fairly. I just can't say enough about this school. You know, I love this school. And when it does get attacked, I guess it attacks me in a way.
As times change, so must the people within it. And I think the Citadel has an excellent time, an excellent opportunity to show that it's willing to change and be flexible and adhere to the needs of other people.
Especially, oh Lord, bless our Corps of Cadets.
In the past few months, the Citadel has actively stepped up its recruitment of black students and faculty members. But on the emotional issue of Dixie and the Confederate flag, General Grimsley and the governing board of visitors have postponed any action.
I know these people, and they're going to get stiff, and their spines are going to turn to steel, and they're going to get weepy and nostalgic about the Old South and about Grandpa getting shot off his horse at Shiloh. It means an extraordinary insensitivity to the rest of the world outside the gates.
Is there a kind of us versus them mentality?
Oh, sure. You been down there? I'm telling you, them boys, when they circle the wagons, it is hard to break through. I don't think they've fully realized what is happening in the 20th century and how they look to other people in the 20th century.
They know the way they look to themselves, though. And aren't they saying, in a sense, we like the way we are, and the rest of the world be damned?
They're saying we love the way we are, but we wish the rest of the world loved us too. And we wish the rest of the world could understand us.